Welcome to the premiere of W&L Sports Weekly. I'm your host, Jeremy Franklin. Coming up on the show this week, we'll Welcome to W&L Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. Back in 2009, we started this program as a way to showcase the accomplishments of Washington and Lee student athletes and coaches. Over the past 8 years, we've spoken with ODAC champions, All-Americans, scholar athletes, conference players of the year, and everyone in between. Even our recently retired president, Ken Ruscio, stopped by for a chat. Now we celebrate a milestone for the Sports Weekly, our 200th episode. On this show, we'll speak with baseball coach Lucas Jones, women's lacrosse captain Hayley Soutter, and women's tennis captain Michelle Fleenor. But as always, we start with a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. Women's lacrosse knocked off a top 10 opponent for the second straight week, downing 7th-ranked Salisbury 6-5 at Watt Field. Men's lacrosse dropped a 16-14 shootout to Franklin and Marshall. Men's tennis defeated Swarthmore 6-3 before falling 5-4 to Sewanee. Women's tennis picked up 3 ODAC victories, knocking off Emory and Henry, Virginia Wesleyan and Guilford 9-0. In track and field, both the men's and women's distance medley relay teams set new school records in final indoor qualifying meets, and baseball swept a home doubleheader over Penn State Harrisburg, downing the Lions 10-0 and 10-6. With me in the studio is baseball coach Lucas Jones. Lucas, welcome back to the show.
Jeremy, thanks for having me back.
The Generals head into a Thursday matchup with Southern Virginia at 7-5 overall. How would you rate the way the first few weeks of the year have gone?
Yeah, they've been okay. I wouldn't describe it as overwhelming, but we have played a very difficult schedule to start, which was on purpose. And we went down to Emory, who's #1 in the country, and didn't play well enough to win any of those games, but we're in 2 tight games. Game 1 was 3-3 in the 8th and just didn't defend as well as we should have down the stretch. And got walked off in Game 2, lost 2-1. Played Huntington while we were down south, and they were a regional team last year. So hopefully that schedule will kind of boost our confidence, even though we didn't see the results that we wanted. Will put us in a situation here moving into conference play, as you said, this weekend, that will put us in a better position to compete at a higher level.
During your first year in 2016, the Generals won 26 games, the 3rd most in program history. You were named ODAC Coach of the Year. Has that success put more pressure on the team this spring?
I wouldn't say more pressure. We're in a unique situation because, as you just stated, we're in year 2 now, and so we're building a culture, and we're also having a responsibility. I'm having a responsibility to still coach this team, and that doesn't necessarily go hand in hand. Building a culture has its duties, and then the influence of a particular team. Every team is different, has its duties, and so that unique blend is something that we're continuously growing and working for. And so our leaders, our guys in the program are constantly being told, different messages about how we want to do, day-to-day stuff, but also, what's important to win now. And so we do have some internal pressure, I think, of the expectations we have for ourselves, but I think the external pressure is nothing that we've that hopefully over the course of a few years it's an expectation and it's not a pressure for us.
On the field, what are the Generals looking to improve upon as you get set to open up ODAC play?
Yeah, I think one of the areas that we have we're constantly kind of looking to improve is kind of our special teams of baseball, which is our base running, and trying to improve that, be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more better on dirt ball reads and trying to take extra bases and free 90s and just have a little bit more risk reward type of mentality. And so that's one area. And then our pitching staff coming in is, last year, I mean, it's no secret, we've top 15 in the country in ERA, and we just haven't performed as well as we should, and I think part of that's just not being in the strike zone, a lot of ball counts, and so getting a little bit more aggressive, more competitive pitches, and I think that'll grow and continue to improve as we look towards the middle of the last part of the year.
7 of your first 8 ODAC games are at Captain Smith Field, starting with a doubleheader against Hampton City on Saturday. How important is it to get off to a good start in league play?
No question, probably the utmost importance. I mean, every game is important, obviously, but getting off to a great start in the ODAC, which in my opinion is the toughest conference in the country. I mean, you have 4 teams in the top 40. I mean, Shenandoah is number 2, Randolph-Macon's 11, Roanoke just cracked the top 25, and so anytime you have an opportunity to play at home, you need to take full advantage of that. With that means that down the road, then we'll have a stretch where we have to go on the road to play conference games. So getting off to the right start is of the utmost importance for us.
Lucas, thanks for joining us. Best of luck throughout the spring.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy.
Here with me now is Hayley Soutter, senior lacrosse captain from McLean, Virginia. Hayley, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
W&L is coming off of 2 huge wins. You beat Franklin and Marshall, followed that up by holding off Salisbury on Saturday. What has led to this early season success?
I think a large part of it comes from what we did in the off season. We definitely had a really tough workout packet with lots of lifting and some super hard runs. But we did a really good job with one another, just motivating each other. So through the runs, just getting each other hyped up and holding each other accountable, I think, for a lot of the lifting stuff. And I think that's really paid off. I think it set a tone for in season, pushing each other during practices, and practice has been really hard. So when we get to those games, it's been easy to kind of come out and play super hard. And so I think really our off-season set a good tone and has led to the early season successes.
What can those kind of victories do for the team in the long run, both in preparing you for ODAC play and for what you hope to be another NCAA tournament appearance?
Yeah, we have really high expectations for this season. I think that's another part of why we've had big success, because we've really wanted to achieve our goals. So for ODAC play, I think it's giving us a lot of confidence that we can do well and achieve our ultimate goal of winning the ODAC championship again. And then in terms of the NCAA appearance, our ultimate goal is to go to the Elite 8 and ultimately the Final 4. And I think that's just because we want to go farther than we have in past years. And I just think that this 4-0 start that we've had really gives us confidence that we can achieve those goals. And they may be a little higher than we've had in the past, but I think it's definitely achievable this year.
You missed more than a season and a half due to injury, but you've been a big part of the general success early on in 2017. How rewarding has it been to be playing such a major role again for W&L?
It's been awesome. It's been the greatest feeling in the world. Obviously, it was unfortunate that I tore my ACL again at the first scrimmage of last year, and it was really tough. But I got so much support from my coaches and from my fellow teammates that I knew that it was going to be rewarding to stick with it, and it definitely has been. I'm super, super happy that I worked really hard in the off season with my rehab with Matt Phillips, our trainer, and it's just really paid off, and I'm so happy that I stuck with it, because these first 4 games have been so much fun, and just the energy has been great, and the excitement amongst the team has just been so worthwhile. So I'm so happy that I stuck with it.
W&L travels to number 4 Gettysburg this week, and you have 2 more ranked opponents, St. Mary's and Catholic, next week. What did the Generals need to do to maintain your high level of play against such a tough schedule?
I think it's really just thinking about the little things. I think just staying calm and focused on attack, because at times against these tougher opponents, it's hard to just think about just focusing on that specific play. So I think it's really just about the little things and just keeping that confidence that we have, because I think we came into Salisbury playing very confident and knowing that we could win. So I think playing Gettysburg and St. Mary's and Catholic, our upcoming ranked teams, I think we just need to keep that focused, calm demeanor about us, and I think we'll do what we've been doing and get the wins we need to win. So, yeah.
Hayley, thanks for joining us. Good luck throughout the season.
Thank you for having me.
With me in the studio is Michelle Fleenor, junior tennis captain from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
W&L is currently 8-0 on the season. You breezed through 7 ODAC matches. You also have a good win over a quality regional opponent in Christopher Newport. How pleased have you been with the first few weeks of the spring season?
Yeah, the first few weeks have really been awesome so far. We've really seen everybody step into their roles as players and leaders and see everybody get really motivated for matches, which has been awesome, and we've really gotten off with some great wins.
With 15 players on the roster, W&L has a much deeper squad than in 2016. How does that depth pay off, both in practice and during matches?
Yeah, the depth has really been great for this season. Compared to last year, we had 8 eligible players really to move in and out of the lineup. So having 15 people be able to really step up and play their best tennis has really been beneficial in both practice and matches, because we really have more of a competitive squad this year.
The Generals' current top three on the singles ladder are the same as at the end of 2016. You're right behind Brooke Donnelly and Tessa Hill. How has that continuity helped as you work so many younger players into the lineup?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's been really beneficial for the freshmen, especially to see experienced players in the lineup and see how we react to matches and to see us really get some good wins under our belt. And we've also been trying to work in a lot of freshmen into the lineup so they can have that experience as well. And also the returners have really been stepping up in matches. So it's been a really great start to season for everyone.
The schedule gets tougher later this month. You have a stretch of 4 straight matches against nationally ranked opponents, including number 2 Williams. How excited is the team to face such high-quality competition?
Yeah, so we do have 5 matches next week, and they are going to be tough and a grueling week mentally and physically, but I think everybody's ready to step up to the challenge and really have competitive matches and put forth their best efforts tennis-wise. And I think everybody's really feeling confident after having our big wins at the beginning of season. And of course, Williams is a difficult opponent, but I think we're all ready to really step up to the plate and play our best tennis and really try to get that win, since I haven't beaten Williams since I've been here, so it'll be exciting.
Michelle, thanks for joining us. Best of luck this year.
Thanks.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. W&L's Joe Scott and Zach Billick-Bashie will compete at the NCAA Division III Wrestling Championship in Lacrosse, Wisconsin, with action starting on Friday. Also this weekend, men's tennis will play host to Emory and Henry. Baseball opens up ODAC play with a home doubleheader against Hampton-Sydney. Men's lacrosse hits the road to face the Tigers, while women's lacrosse travels to 4th-ranked Gettysburg, and women's tennis will visit Elon. For the 200th edition of W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.